All right, what's up, beautiful people? Welcome back to the Den of Truth. So today, or right now, I got a very exciting episode, man. Someone who I've been, following for a long period of time. Someone who's consistently been making great music, writing, producing some of your favorite songs. And someone who's just been very consistent, especially when it comes to the Australian music scene. So today we've got Blessed. So Blessed, how are you, man?
I'm good, thanks.
I'm good. How you been, man?
Yeah, same old, just laying low, just doing my thing, eh?
Yeah, man. First of all, man, how's your year been, man? How are you feeling with everything that's happening right now?
Honestly, going back to the start of the year with the fires to COVID to, this whole racial revolution going on, it's honestly, for me, it's been the same. Nothing's changed at all in my life, eh? Because I'm just like a recluse, so I've been by myself all the time anyway. Yeah. So everyone else is living my life now, so ask them how they doing, I guess.
Yeah. That's a great way to put it, man, because I've been telling a lot of people that, your mental health right now is the most important thing. It's not normal for you to always be on your phone, looking at your phone and seeing all these type of events happening. That's not normal. For anyone, I think now, like you said, a lot of people are taking that step back and becoming a bit more, I guess, reclusive, a bit more introverted. Mm-hmm. Because like you said, a lot of these issues that have been happening, people have been talking about them from time.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, how has it affected you, man? And what are you sort of doing to sort of get your mind clear from all of this?
I guess, well, in terms of mental health, I'd started to read a lot this year. Mm-hmm. I'm partially dyslexic, so I've never, I only read my first book at 25. I'm 28 now, so the last 3 years. Mm-hmm. And this year especially, been taking the time just really just researching a lot about psychology and philosophy as well. You know what I mean? So in terms of mental health, I've been really just aligning myself with the Stoic philosophy of just understanding that nothing's in your control but your own mind. So I guess that's kind of really been an anchor for me, just to kind of go back to whenever my mind's kind of, getting a little iffy or feeling a little bit jump on social media, these people are popping, these people are doing this and that, and I'm just in my bedroom with my microphone and speakers, you know what I mean? Yeah. But it's cool. I'm cool.
What do you mean by Stoic? What do you mean the Stoic philosophy?
Stoic philosophy as in Marcus Aurelius, who was a Roman emperor. Yeah. But it's just the philosophy of just knowing that bad things are going to happen in your life regardless. Good things are going to happen in your life regardless. And you have no control over either one. You only have control over your emotions, the response, the reaction to either one. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's really where my head's at this point in my life.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting, man, because like you said, exercising, great mental control is key, man. You see people investing all this time going to the gym. You've seen half of Australia is going crazy because they can't work out at the gyms.
Yeah.
But, but people don't put the same emphasis and the same importance in working at your mental health and figuring out and navigating yourself and how you feel and navigating your emotions and understanding, especially coming from an African background, man, I'm not sure about you, but we didn't really talk about mental health growing up.
Oh, never.
You know what I mean?
It's not a thing. It's not a thing. Even me being I feel like I'm full dyslexic. I just never been diagnosed. But even that, my parents are just you lazy. You know what I mean? You need to work harder, try harder. It's just instead of getting to the real issue of why words and numbers have been jumbled in my head, and I hated public reading, public speaking, all of those kind of things. Yeah. But it's good that now in 2020 people are really addressing it and bringing awareness to the fact that, we all go through things, and it's we all have our demons. We all have these things, these thoughts and these feelings that we don't let to the surface. But I'm glad that, people are starting to bring that to the surface, and that's what I try to do in my music as well. So
yeah, I mean, how does your music sort of help you with your being dyslexic? How does it sort of help you navigate through that?
I don't know. Hey, it's a funny thing because I don't write any of my lyrics.
So you're just going off freestyle, you're freestyling everything?
Not freestyle necessarily, but it's I punch in lines. So how we're just talking now, the conversation would be recorded into a song. I'd say a few lines, pause for a second, then I say the next couple lines, pause for a second, then I say the next couple lines.
That's crazy, dog. Yeah. You got to give yourself some props. That shit ain't easy to do, man.
Bro, I'm just a product of the Kanye West, the Lil Waynes of the world. So I've seen what they've been able to do, and I try to mimic that and find my own formula. But in terms of being dyslexic and not like I tried writing lyrics, but when I'd write the lyrics, I couldn't read my own lyrics. You know what I mean? It'd take me so many takes to get down what I'm trying to say. So then I guess I just developed like being able to sit in the mic and get my feelings out instead of trying to write down my thoughts and get all intricate with all my words.
Yeah. And it's good, man. That's just adapting to your situation and adapting to your environment. Because even like we were just talking about, man, like there are a lot of kids, not just in the African communities, but I think minorities do it in general. Like a lot of, especially going out in Western Sydney, like you already know what it's like out there, and like, you know, dealing with kids who, a lot of them do have mental illness. Like a lot of them do, you know what I mean? But they just don't have the platforms where they can look at someone that has gone through that, has gone past that, figured out a way to adapt to that, and then just and has been able to get something out of that. And I think that's really important, man, because, you know, it's been on my spirit a lot, man, because just to get out topic a little bit, you know, a lot of our parents, we come from war-torn countries. Yeah. So you're coming from a country that's war-torn, coming to another country, you got to learn the language. You know, some of them are coming as engineers, doctors, and whatever.
Yeah, big degrees.
But, you know, master's degrees, coming to a country where you got to start again. Yeah. And then you're expecting them to have full, that they have PTSD. You know what I mean? They're not going through depression, and then they're raising kids. And it's like...
It's stressful, man.
It's stressful.
It sounds stressful.
Yeah, like I just said, it sounds stressful. Like, I couldn't imagine us right now, we had to go to Russia, learn the language again. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, so it's crazy. But yeah, that being said, man, I think probably my first introduction to you was back in the day, man. I'm talking about like Parramatta. Better days.
West Sydney, baby.
West Sydney vibes, man. Talk to us a little about, like, you know, what it was like making music at that time and just that time in general in your life.
Oh, that time was what, like late high school. I started making music when I was like 15. My dad bought me a computer. Like, oh, he didn't buy me a computer. It's a family computer.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And then like I just figured out how to use FL Studio. Like I illegally downloaded everything, almost till this day. Not till this day. I'm legit now.
Yeah,
I'm legit now. I got money, but back then, like everything was illegally downloaded, and just making music was for fun. Like I didn't see it as like, you know, like as something that I wanted to do with the rest of my life. Really, I just saw it as something that like it was like my only little escape from like the rest of the world, and like. I've like got a lot of social anxiety, like, or I've always had it. I've always been like, well, people who know me or people who see me around, you know, kind of see me as like a snob or this guy who just like won't talk to people. It's like, nah, that's just because my heart's thumping and like the voices in my head are just like going crazy.
Yeah.
So like music's always been my escape from the world. And from 15 to now, I've just been doing it. Like, but back then it was really like, being a black fella doing it is different.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you. I get
different.
You. Yeah,
like you look to your idols. You look to, you know, like I said before, Kanye West, one of my biggest idols. I look to someone like him and like how he was able to maneuver and like switch up the styles and like be a producer and an artist and influence so many different people all over the world. And that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But at that time, like here in Australia, there's no one else to look to for that. You know what I mean? There's no one else around like with the same color skin as me to be like, yeah, I want to be like that guy. I want to do like this. So I was just really imitating what the Americans did. Like had a little American accent going. And,
I remember that day.
You know, just trying to fit in, trying to be cool. That was really what it was. Just trying to be cool.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But it was a learning period, man. But what you probably don't realize at that time when like, you know, Better Days came out, you know, people jerking, you know, blue skinny jeans.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, that was probably the first time in my life where I actually saw like the African Australian community. Like, do you remember that time? Like, you know, those times where it was like, this was the first time, you know, I was introduced to a lot of the people who I still talk to now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because it was the first time where we could be like, yo, there's someone that looks like us is making music. We all into music anyways, so let's just follow that.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so from my perspective and my time growing up, that's what I saw. And then I think I told you this a little bit, but at that time you were shooting the Party of the Year video, and it was in Abbotsbury. Yeah. So I'll tell you a bit of the backdrop of that, because I gotta tell you this story, because a lot of people watching remember that story. So you did like, there was like a Facebook event and it was a mansion out there.
Yeah.
And then me and my homie Oz went to the party, and like I said, it was the first time a lot of people have been in the music video. The first time people have seen like a music artist come to Western Sydney and really doing it like that. The first time you've seen someone like looks like you making these moves. So probably for you probably didn't notice it happening in that period, but for a lot of people, it was crazy. So that being said, like, you know, even as things started to develop for yourself, you know, and the music started to come out, what was that like? What was that like for you in regards to seeing things develop? Did it happen sort of fast, or?
Oh no, it happened very slow. It happened very slow. Like in terms of like my development, and then the development of like, let's say the hip hop culture that we have so far today. It's a very long grind. It's been 10 years of you know, not looking the part, as in like not being the token, not token, but being the token black guy, but not looking like, you know, the surfy, you know, flip-flopped white indie dude, and like being able to like stand on your own too. Like I've been like I said, I'm a recluse. Like I'm very like key to myself, so it didn't really matter to me if, you know, I was accepted or if I wasn't. But to be a part of a community and to like kind of not start up, but be one of the first to be like amongst that energy, and like to throw that party that you went to and shoot the video that you were a part of as well, and see so many young kids that just like wanted to really like push that culture forward. Like that's the best part to me. You know what I mean? But it took time. Yeah. And it's still growing as well.
And just to go on what you were saying, like, I've even noticed within your music, there's a lot of emphasis on youth. You know, you talk to, I guess, youth and kids a lot, you know, throughout your music, and you really encourage, through a range of your songs, you really encourage kids to be expressive of how they feel, of the type of art that they put out. Why is that so important to you?
Self-expression is everything, like to me, and like it should be to everyone, because the more you hold on to and harbor and like conceal these feelings, the more they eat you up, the more they, you know, tear into other parts of your life. So for me, like music is my expression from that. Music is my way of getting those feelings, those emotions, those thoughts out without like, you know, bombarding the world with fucking just the way I feel. Like,
yeah.
But then also like talking to the youth and talking to the younger generation, like when I was like, you know, coming up, nobody was really talking to me about anything. Like, you know, nobody was being like, oh, you need to move like this, you need to do this or that. The only person I would say is B-Wise. B-Wise is like my OG. Like I give him that respect. Yeah. And K1 as well, the whole crew that he came up with. But other than them, like I'd be looking to like who was I to look to? You know what I mean? Who was I to learn from? And to be in a position that I am now, like just to be able to speak to however many kids that I can through my music and inspire them to inspire others, like that's really the purpose that I have on this earth. So I'm gonna keep doing that.
I mean, it would have been difficult, especially, or you can talk about it, but like, you know, being the first of in doing something like this, especially in the music scene. Because do you think that they were receptive to your image, or were they trying to mold you into something that you weren't?
As in the music industry?
Yeah, the music industry, sort of the audience,
honestly, they were trying to mold me into what I wasn't. Like, I mean, for those who don't even know, like I started off making music as under the moniker Miracle, which is like a nickname my mom gave me. And then I was signed to Sony Music at like 17, 18, and left that deal around 25. And throughout that time period, like I was really just studying the game. I was really learning from my A&R, Pat Hanlon, learning from just everyone I could, other artists, pop artists, rock artists, not a lot of rap artists, because like, I didn't listen to there wasn't any, and I didn't listen to Aussie hip hop.
Yeah.
No disrespect to anyone, but like I just don't connect with that. Yeah. But like it is what it is, eh?
Yeah, it is. But even at 17, 18, being signed, did you feel any pressure dealing with the music industry?
Yeah, the pressure that I felt was really just on myself. Like, I don't know, I've got this really like my superpower is like my carelessness. Like I don't care what anybody says, thinks like of me. You know what I mean? The only person's opinion I really care is my mom. Like that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Like my dad would tell you, like I've been a careless kid since day one. So when people tell me like, you know, no, I tell them you don't know. So I just do what I want, regardless. So the only pressure I really ever felt in my life is pressure on myself to be like the best rapper or the best, producer or this and that. But like now I've come to a point where I'm like mature and I'm like, I'm not trying to be the best. I'm not trying to be better than you. I'm trying to be better than me, like who I was yesterday. I'm trying to be better than who I was last week. I'm trying to be better than who I am right now.
I like that. You compete with yourself.
Yeah,
you're running with yourself.
That's the only one.
What did you mean when you say, when people say no and then you say you don't know? What do you mean by that?
I mean, like, people are always going to tell you, like, your ideas are crazy. People are going to tell you, you can't do this, you can't do that because of so-and-so, because they haven't been able to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if you have a clear vision of what you want for your life and how you want to structure it, how you want to live it, you tell them you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what I'm supposed to be doing on this planet. You don't know what's meant for me. Like, I know what's meant for me, so I'm going to go out there and get it.
Sounds very religious.
I'm very religious, bro.
No, well.
My name's Blessed, so
yeah, I was gonna say.
Can't get more religious than that.
Yeah, you took it all the way there.
Yeah.
Was religion a big part of your childhood? Like,
yeah, huge. I mean, my dad's a pastor, so that's why my name is Blessed. Like, that's not a stage name, that's my real name.
A lot of people didn't know that, so it's good that you clarify that.
yeah. But I've been to church every Sunday until I was like, 19 when I moved out of home. So, all my morals, like the way I structure everything, even my music, I don't swear in my music. Like people don't even realize that. Like I'm not a Christian artist. I'm a Christian who's an artist. You know what I'm saying?
That's deep, dog. Shit. A Christian, that's an artist. I like that. And just how were you a part of the praise team?
The praise team?
The praise and worship
of course.
team?
I played drums. I mean, it was an African church, so the rhythm's a little different to what I was used to. Like, I played in rock bands. I played guitar and drums and stuff like that. So when you go to church and it's like, the African rhythm beats and I couldn't keep up. So like, I mean, but I've always been music's always been a part of my life. Church, outside church,
I think everyone's got that experience where like the parents try to put them in the praise and worship team, try to put you on the keys or something, then they say it doesn't work, but they need the numbers.
They need the numbers, exactly. They need the numbers.
Oh man. But look, even with that, man, being signed to a record label from a young age, you definitely you probably went through the rounds, probably know the inside outs of it. What's like the day-to-day of being signed to a record label? Is it like having a job where you have to clock in 9 a.m., leave, or like what's the day-to-day?
Honestly, for me, my experience was like they sign you and they leave you alone. You know what I mean?
Oh shit!
Like, especially because I'm a producer first, so I produce all my own music. Yeah. So like, you could throw me in the middle of the jungle, I'll make an album. Yeah. But for them, the only issue with what I was doing was it wasn't current. It wasn't like what the radio wanted to play, you know what I mean? So I guess really just go out and do I just went out and did my thing. But in terms of like what the day-to-day thing is, it's just like every day that I'm living now. And the only thing is I don't have anyone telling me what I can and can't do. Yeah. Now that's crazy because I think people have that fascination where they think that like if you sign with the record label that it's going to be like someone's going to be holding your hand and you're going to be taken to the promised lands. But if you're not, because even like you said, you're talking, you produce most of your own shit either way. So regardless, what really can a record label do for you if you're already making your own music? Yeah, the promotion, distribution, the marketing channels, it can be larger now. Yeah. But like if you look at it now, it's like, can't you do that all by yourself either way? Exactly. I could do that all from my phone right now. Yeah. You know what I mean? But how did you learn to sort of start producing stuff on your own? Really? And how long was that process? Yeah. Honestly, like, I mean, I started producing because I went on like certain websites and just used to take people's beats and rap over them. Yeah. And then one day someone hit me with an email like, you stole my beat, didn't pay for it, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I got real shook. I was like, 16 years old? Yeah. Someone trying to threaten me with like, legal. Yeah, legal stuff. Like, what do I know about any of that? So then I just illegally downloaded Fruity Loops and just learned from there. Like, I just taught myself, like, I mean, I've always had the rhythm, like, natural. We African, bro. Like, that's where it comes from. There's something in there. Exactly. But from there, like, just dabbled with the keys. And honestly, like, I don't even know how I make beats. They're all just accidents. really. Like they're beautiful accidents.
What do you mean by that? Explain that to people. Beautiful accidents.
I don't know music theory. Like I can't read music. Like I understand music from like a theoretical point, as in like just the idea of what it is and what it's supposed to feel, sound like, what it's meant to make you feel. Mm-hmm. So I kind of just, press buttons and chop in loops and just like twist things and just mess around until it feels good to me. You know what I mean? And that's what I call producing.
Man, looks like all that theory shit, that's 2020.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like literally it's 2020. Anything that you want to learn, you can go on YouTube, like you said, and you can learn it.
Yeah.
Or even now it's like, even when you have things that are structured, it's like everything ends up sounding the same either way. Mm-hmm. There's no really there's no creativity, there's no forward thinking in what you're doing.
Yeah.
But that being said, when you dropped the first album, Mainland, what was that like for you? And how long did you take that album to drop? How long did it take you to sort of finish that off?
I think that was done in a week. Yeah.
A week?
Yeah, in a week. I flew down to Melbourne. Me and a producer, Nick Martin, flew down to Melbourne. We worked with another producer, Stars Fuego. Mm-hmm. These two are like next level. And them two together, crazy.
Yeah.
We just stayed in Styles' studio for a week and made the whole thing.
In a week?
Yes, sir.
A whole album in a week?
Yeah.
Jeez. And how did you, and now that you look back at it now, what did you think about the album?
Honestly, I haven't heard it in like 7 years maybe.
Damn.
Yeah, like I don't listen to, like music to me is it's like a diary, you know what I mean? But I don't go back and read the pages. Like I just release and then somebody else can read it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's an interesting way to put it. So you don't listen to any of your old music? Once you release it, boom, next thing.
Once I release it, next thing. But like, and it's crazy because like I constantly listen to myself. Like I don't listen to almost any other music other than myself. Like before you were asking me about the drill scene and the Aussie hip hop, not Aussie hip hop, the Australian music.
Yeah.
Yeah. The big difference. But and I was saying like I haven't heard anything. I don't listen to anything because I'm constantly trying to perfect the music that I do have now, and I have a lot of unreleased songs. So I'm just going back and forth listening to that. But once it's out, I don't listen to it.
And why is that? Why do you think that? Why don't you listen to more music?
I don't know, hey. Like,
you just fuck with yourself, yeah? I'm with that too.
Oh, man.
Just like me, so it's like, look, I only listen to my own podcast. It's like, I fuck with myself.
Yeah, you gotta back yourself. You don't believe in you, who's gonna believe in you?
Exactly.
But really, I'm just trying to perfect the songs. Like I'm trying to, because I mix my own music as well. Like I'm not just producing it. Like I'm producing it, I'm recording it, I'm engineering it, and then I'm mixing it, and then I'm mastering it. And like, it's a whole process.
Yeah.
And it's like, someone I really admire for that is Russ. So like, I
why is that?
Because he's very braggadocious about it, but he does what I do. And it's just like, it's about being self-sufficient. You know what I mean? Just like not waiting on the next man to do something that you could do for yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, it takes a lot more time. And like I could like delegate certain tasks to certain people, and I'd have so much more music and so much more time for myself. Mm-hmm. But to me, it's art pieces. Like, every song is an art piece, and I'm painting a sonic painting, and it's like, it's not done until it's done. So like, that's what I mean by just listen to myself.
Yeah. That's sort of getting into what I was going to talk about next, is that I know you got a lot of music out. So why don't you release it? Is it because, you're waiting for yourself to perfect it? Mm-hmm. Or what is the reason?
Right now, it's about timing. Yeah. Because last year I was doing this thing called Blessed Sundays, where I just put out a song every Sunday.
Yeah.
And that was fun. Like, I'd make like 6 songs a week, and then I pick the best one and put it out.
Yeah.
But then it's like, what do I do with the other 5 songs? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now I'm at the point where it's like, I rather take the time to perfect a 1 song a week rather than like, have like the whole 7 songs or 6 songs and just like throw them away. You know what I mean? Because like, they're precious. Like they're like honest feelings and honest thoughts. And sometimes just like, I'm just bragging about, being the freshest, best, just blessed and all that.
Yeah, do your thing.
But like, on a serious note, it's just like, like these are pieces of my puzzle. These are pieces of my heart, of my soul. You know what I mean? And it's like, I want them to come out in the best way possible. Last year, I was just putting them out for fun. And now it's like, I understand that I need to package them with the right wrapping, the right bow, present it to the world in the right way for them to digest it how I feel like they should.
Yeah. Man, it's interesting to see how thoughtful you are in the process. Mm-hmm. You know, I think the way that you can really the way you're so thoughtful in the way that you present your music, people can really see that, if that makes sense.
Yes, sir.
Like you can really see that this person takes their time in making sure a song is not just good, but there's meaning behind it. Especially what you said about, making music, making audio music, and it being sort of like a visual painting. Mm-hmm. You know, I think that's the same thing as art in general. Whatever you do, whether you're a photographer, whether you're a podcaster, whether you make music, all of these things are just visual paintings which you are putting out to the world. It's all art. You're just communicating in a different way.
Exactly, different medium.
Yeah, it's all just a different medium, like you said. And I think that's a great way to perceive anything that you're doing, whether that be, like I said, podcasting, videography, photography. Mm-hmm. It's an interesting way to put it, you know. But yeah, so what was the transition like from Miracle to Blessed?
Transition was, for me, it was hard because like I built up this like kind of area famous like name, you know what I mean? Like kids knew me, like kids of color knew me 100%. Yeah. And that was like, I kind of felt like I was their guy. I was that kid that was known for music. Like I grew up around Blacktown. Yeah. You know, a lot of,
shout out
gangs.
Blacktown.
Shout out Blacktown, West Sydney, baby. We here. We made it. No, I'm playing. But yeah, I grew up around Blacktown and grew up around like a lot of the Sudanese boys and a lot of the Islanders as well, and like, Mountain County and that. And, they were all into like, gang stuff. And they knew me as the music guy, the music kid. I was around them, but I wasn't into what they were doing. They were around me, but they liked what I was doing, but they weren't really into it. And coming up as Miracle and building that kind of brand and building that name, and then getting to a point where it was like, the labels wanted me to be a certain way and make certain type of music, and I was just frustrated. I was so frustrated. I wasn't making any music. I was like demotivated, no creativity. And then I got to a point where I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna make music under my real name. I'm not gonna tell anybody who it is. I'm not gonna show my face. I'm just gonna put it out there. So I did that, and then I got a crazy response. Like I put out one song, like my first song, and it was One and Only. And then what's the blog? Pigeons and Planes. Pigeons and Planes hit me up from that, and it was just like, that was me being honest and vulnerable and just being myself. And the music wasn't even hip hop. Like I was playing guitar and I had like a kind of like a rocky drum beat. Yeah. And that's like been my influence before hip hop. Like before hip hop, I was listening to rock music. I was listening to punk rock. I play guitar. I play drums. And then like being in my contract with Sony, and then releasing music under my real name and nobody knowing about it.
That was lit. That was lit.
Like I was, you know what I mean? Like F the system. I'm gonna do what I want type thing. And then thank God I was able to get out of that deal. And from there I was just like, no turning back. Like I'm just gonna be myself. Like just do what I want to do under my real name, make music.
Yeah, because that sounds uncomfortable to me, man. Like having someone tell you can't put out something. That would make me just uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's so like, it's like a downer, bro. It's a massive downer to be able to have the ability to create art, create music, and then somebody who hasn't helped or influenced that art or that music tell you, nah, this isn't right because it doesn't fit on Today FM or it doesn't fit on whatever radio station. Meanwhile, I don't listen to the radio. I don't watch TV.
Yeah.
I ain't listened to the radio since I was like, I don't know, 15 or, you know what I mean? So it's like, my influences and what I want to stand for and what I want to put out into the world, who can tell me what I can and can't do in that scenario? No one.
Yeah. Nah, for me that's crazy, man. Like it's crazy. It's crazy to think that people who are outside the culture are making cultural decisions. And I think that's an issue that we're facing right now, man. Mm-hmm. It's like, how can you have someone who's cultureless making cultural decisions.
Exactly. It makes no sense.
It just makes no sense.
It makes no damn sense.
You know, it's crazy to me, man. I see it, man, and I think I think we were talking a little about Europe and we were talking a little about America, and I think that the benefit that they have is that obviously their music scenes and entertainment, and just in general, not even just music, entertainment in general, it's a lot more mature.
Yeah.
So it's been in there for a long period of time. So they've had the period of time to get people in particular positions who are of the culture, so they can make cultural decisions, which makes sense, and that in turn inspires better artists, inspires people to gravitate towards that.
Exactly.
I feel like Australia, that's what we need, man. We need more people of the culture in positions where they're A&R and at a record label.
100%.
They're on radio. They're playing the music that's actually happening.
Radio especially. Like Triple J. Triple J need more people of color in that building.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's crazy because like I was even talking about this with a friend of mine the other day. Like when I first got into music, right? I didn't, because I don't listen to the radio. Yeah. I didn't know what Triple J was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like when I got into music and labels and, managers and everyone's just like, you need to get on Triple J. You can't be successful in Australia. You can't get on certain festivals and this and that or do tours without Triple J. And it's like, Triple who? Like what? I need these people to play my music before I can be somebody.
You can validate yourself. Yeah,
I'm already somebody. I'm an artist. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if the radio is playing me or not. I know some kids are out there listening to me, believing in what I'm saying and benefiting from it.
Yeah.
And like now to look at Triple J and how they've slowly made a shift towards, like they're the gatekeepers. They've opened the gate a little bit. You know what I mean? There's a little creek, little crack.
Some of y'all can get in.
Some of y'all can get in.
Yeah.
And it's dope. Like I'm happy for the ones that have got in.
Yeah.
But it's like that's not good enough. It's not good enough. And that starts with management. That starts with the people who are in the building. Yeah. And like I've only come to realize that now. Like I always used to be like, man, why don't they play like people like Manu or play people like, just my peers? And it's like, not just because they're my peers. Like, I'm fans of these people.
Yeah.
And I think they deserve to be, full rotation every time they drop a track.
Yeah.
But, it's because of the people in the building who would rather, it's nepotism. They'd rather put on people that, they're used to, people they know, people that like, you know what I mean? And that to me is garbage, bro. That's garbage.
I'm with you, man. Even after, like, with everything that's happening with the, Black Lives Matter and, the protests that have been happening, I just told myself, man, it's time to take a step back, mobilize and strategize, and really think about what are we doing here in Australia?
Yeah.
Yeah, because obviously on one end, a lot of other people got to do the work. But on our end, we also got to do a lot of work on with ourselves.
Exactly.
If we're the culture, and we're the ones shifting and making things move and dance, then definitely we need to have a voice in different things that we're doing. And let's keep it 100. I always tell people, like, my homie from Saudi System, Stanley, was telling me, and he kept posting, he was saying, not all the time Gucci and Louis Vuitton, like, these motherfuckers don't give a fuck about you. Yeah. And you make it relevant.
Yeah.
Or
100%.
even
we make it relevant.
You make it relevant. It's like when people who wear Gucci and Louis Vuitton, let's be real, when was the last time you looked at a catalog? Or you ever actually went to go YouTube a Louis Vuitton and Gucci foot collection? You don't.
Yeah.
You're just looking at it because you think it's cool.
Yeah.
But in you doing that, you don't realize that you're making the brand more relevant. But the other way cooler people, brands the cooler brands that actually fuck with you, fuck with your people, fuck with what you're doing. And there's other smaller, let's say black-owned people that are doing the same thing. But it's just that in your mind, the perception of self-hate is so real. You don't understand your power. But to get back to what you were saying about being on the radio, it's like I'm the same way. It's like I just don't like this gatekeeper shit.
Yeah.
And you probably know this firsthand.
Right. I used to I'm a Taurus, yeah. So like there's a lot of anger inside. I've always had a lot of anger inside.
Yeah.
And it's like certain things like that piss me the F off, yeah?
Yeah.
Because like it's the culture, right? Yeah. We have a culture here. We've always had a culture here. And like it's just because the light hasn't been shone on the culture, people think it doesn't exist. You know what I mean?
Makes sense. Yeah.
And especially in Western Sydney is like the melting pot for talent right now. And like you look at the 1-4 boys, you look at people like that who have been able to break through the gate. Like they're not even like they jump the fence. They're not even trying to break through the gate. They're not trying to wait for you to open the door. They're like kicking down the door, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like that's the kind of model that we need to all need to follow. We need to follow suit and not be like waiting on, somebody to ring the door and wait for them to open for us. Nah, we need to kick in the door and be like, yo, we're here. We've been here since day one. And like, you're benefiting, like everyone's benefiting off our culture.
Yeah.
Worldwide, that's what it is.
Yeah.
But like, especially here in Australia, we just need to wake up to it and be able to like see for ourselves that like the difference is here. The difference is now. Like we need to make that.
Yeah. And I think that's the point of, like I said, not all the time you gotta try to go to these big radio people and like, I just don't like this shit is you feel like people are riding some dick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't like that shit because I know you're dope. Like I know what you're doing is dope. Like I know the art that you're putting out is hard, but it's like you're begging. Like, you know what I mean? It shouldn't be like you're begging. It should just be like, yo, we got someone in the building that fucks with it. Just put it on rotation. Like it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be. It's like, this is the time now where you were going to notice who is really for the culture and the people who are playing like it's for the culture.
Facts.
It's going to be an interesting time. Give it 6 months. We got to let things calm down a little bit. But after that, we're going to see the people who are really trying to push the culture or the people who have been staying quiet, just profiting off the culture, trying to get some cultural relevance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a big part of it too, man, cultural relevance.
It's huge.
There's a difference between someone grabbing you and saying, yo, let's run with it. I just fuck with what you're doing. And someone just trying to stay by you because they want some cultural relevance.
Yeah.
And I've been noticing that. Yeah. Oh shit, man. Anyways, we gotta back to the program. And you talked a little bit about and what I've noticed also is you're sort of unconventional in the way of saying that you're African Australian, grew up in Western Sydney, initially started with hip hop.
Yes, sir.
But then a lot of your influences are sort of like indie rock. Like I see you with the guitar, electric guitar. I see you working with different acts and different genres. Yeah. Where did that interest sort of come from? I know you said you were into it before the rap. Yeah. Where did that interest come from?
Honestly, it's just the interest in like rock music and like alternative music just came from growing up with being the only black kid. Like, you know what I mean? I'm surrounded, all my friends are white. And they all listen to this type of music, so I'm just going to listen to what they listen to. And then growing up in a Christian family as well, like rap music is vulgar. Rap music is about, you call women bitches. Like my mom's not trying to hear any of that. So it's like I didn't listen to hip-hop music until Kanye West, Jesus Walks. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Influence.
And like, influence. Exactly. And that's why Kanye is like, he's my number one, like, because he was able to put, a Christian, like bring Christian reference into the mainstream, like secular world. Yeah. You know what I mean? And for me being, coming from a very religious home, like strict, and then, like, yo, mom, like this guy's singing a song about Jesus. Yeah. I can listen to that.
You got the pass.
I got the pass. And that was my, that was my first step into hip hop. But coming from a background of, rock music and alternative music, it's just given me a different approach to hip hop. Like I play guitar on most of my songs, and like people like they always ask me, "What genre are you? What genre are you? What do you sit under?" It's like I sit under music. Like tomorrow I might make a gospel album. The next day I might make a punk rock album or a metal album. Like it's just music to me. Yeah. And if it speaks to you, it speaks to you. That's all that matters.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it, man. It's like people try to put you in a box.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I hate that.
Yeah, not having that.
Even like the urban.
Yeah, urban is just a word for black. You know what I mean? Urban is almost as racist as nigga.
Yeah,
that's how I see it. Bro. Yeah, nobody can tell me I make urban music or I'm an urban artist. I'm just an artist. Period.
Yeah, I hate that shit trying to box you in, man. Yeah. But that being said, I know we talked a lot about like having a religious background. And one of the first things that I started listening to you more recently, even when you were starting to drop on Instagram, you talked about was the Sunday sessions.
Yes, sir.
So that almost sounds therapeutic to me, man.
Yeah, it is.
Talking about your background and now, that almost sounds therapeutic.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Sunday has been a very special day since day one for me. And I was born on a Sunday as well. So like in Ghanaian culture, like we have names for every day of the week. So my name is Kwesi, Pakwesi to be exact. So that's father of Kwesi. Yeah. And so I just took that influence of growing up, being at church every Sunday, same time, then taking that and mixing it with my music and being like, every Sunday I'm going to release music. Every Sunday I'm going to be in the studio and I'm going to create content to show you how I work and like just the feelings that like I don't know if people can see the feelings through the camera, but like I'm feeling a lot while I'm recording. Like my music is all feeling, and like to be able to do that every Sunday and just like show like my community, because I like every artist has a small community of like, I wouldn't call them fans, I call them fam, because they get me and I get them. You know what I mean? So Sunday is like that day, and I'm like I said before, like I'm a quiet guy. Like I don't really talk too much. But Sunday is the day that I'm gonna be loud, you know. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you what's going on.
As you are in church. Yeah, Sunday's the day you're loud.
Yeah, Sunday's the day, you know what I mean? So I just took that and ran with it. Now I'm gonna continue to run with it.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, brother, man, people see the emotions. You know what I mean? Like, I think there's so much value in people who can actually make music, man. And I don't mean to diss anyone, but like you said, people can go on YouTube and they can see the whole process of you making a song.
Yeah,
it's not just, you know, you buying a beat, you lay something over it, engineering, and it's done. It's like you starting with the different instruments, you starting with your recording. People can see you trying to get different melodies down.
Yeah.
People see that.
Yeah.
So for a lot of people, they haven't, and we were talking about a lot of people, they've never seen that whole process of creating a song.
True.
You know, and like we said, a lot of people haven't had the opportunity to learn. You know, then like you were talking about how like you never had anyone to sort of actually teach you the right way to do it early.
Nah.
A lot of people don't have the same way now. Luckily now we got a few people who people can reach out to and gain a little bit more direction with. But a lot of people they haven't really received that direction or seen that.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so and you know in the Sunday sessions I saw you went overseas. I think were you just in Europe when you did that?
Yeah, I was in Paris.
Yeah,
it was a vibe. I was out there with a team out there called 404 Humans. And my boy Saint. So like I was just out there during Fashion Week. It was an incredible time.
Yeah.
And just in the studios cooking up. Was in a writing camp as well out there. Just really just doing what I do here, just over there. And it was inspiring to be in a city like Paris, where it's like, I mean, obviously it's Paris. It's the other side of the world. It's one of the most, like when you think of even just the French Empire from like, or whatever you would call them. I don't know if the Empire of...
Yeah, our French didn't, whatever. But we know everyone knows.
Dynasty, or whatever it is, yeah. But like, even it's just to be in a place with the roots, you know what I mean? The roots, whether it's, you know, good or bad, they're so deep. And it's such a very old city, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the history is long.
History is long. History is deep. And the art and like, just the art that is coming from that city, and just to be influenced by that and create music out there, it was a pleasure. And like I just want to do that same thing there all over the world. And I've done that in a few different cities, like Tokyo, LA, of course, New York.
What's probably the biggest difference that you notice in countries from Europe and the USA? Like what do you reckon is the biggest difference in making music between both cities?
Between those places? Oh, okay. First thing is, I mean, the States, I've only been to a couple of the major cities, so I don't know what it's like all over. But in LA, it's really about, you know, your numbers and like, you know, numbers as in socials and like streams and all that. In Paris, it's about your talent. It's about your commitment. It's about the art that you put out. You know what I mean? Like, nobody asked me how many followers I had in Paris, but in LA, you know what I mean? The first question was, how many followers do you have? You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
But you see that a lot in Australia now as well. Like, a lot of people are very consumed in like followers and you know, viewership and just shit that doesn't matter. But they're not realizing that sometimes it's just a wave. It's just trends.
Are you going to be?
Because you've been in it for 10 years.
Yes, sir.
So you've seen different waves.
Yes, sir.
You know, so you could probably speak on it a little bit better than me. Like, what's your opinion on people who just follow that trend? I
mean, like I can't hate on it because what else do they know? What else can they see? Like monkey see, monkey do. So, that's facts. So it's like you see someone doing something, you want to do it too, and that's cool. But the definition of an artist is somebody who does without seeing. That's how I see it. I see it like you don't need to look to the next man to create. You create, and that influences the next man. You know what I mean? You need to be influenced, but not influenced in a way where it's like copycat or cat copy or whatever the correct term is. But you know what I mean? Like, it's just about being your individual self and understanding, you know, that music is an expression. You know what I mean? So I've seen a lot of different ways. I've seen a lot of different people try a lot of different things. And me, myself, I'm not for that, but I'm not going to hate on the next man for doing it. Like, you know, go get your bread, go get your likes and your clout or whatever you're trying to get.
Yeah, the fast transaction.
Yeah, the fast transaction.
And I've seen it a lot, man. And I'm just like, I'm on the same wavelength as you, man. I just want to create. People like it, man. It's people influenced it. People like, you know. For me, it's not necessarily about that gratification. Yeah, I think it's just more for myself 100%. And knowing that I can get an idea and executing that idea.
But it's more than that, like what you're doing as well, because you're giving a platform and you're giving a voice to people to be able to be inspired. And you know, like I'm saying, like the whole like what an artist is supposed to do. You know what I mean? You're an artist in your own art form. Like you're bringing a voice to the voiceless. Like, you know what I mean? Because when you really think about it, like even like that, I've seen all the episodes. You know what I mean? And like we don't know each other that well. Like you've seen me around. And that's only because I come out every like full moon. You know what I mean? But then like to see the episodes and see what you've been doing and like have like the people that you've had on previously, I've heard things that I've never heard from those people, and I've seen them. Like I know Solo very well. I know B-Wise very well. I know Rick. I know Howie, and like just to hear them speak in a different way and be able to like paint a picture of what's going on in this culture right now and inspire the next, you know, gen or the next whoever to do what they're doing and better. It's awesome, bro. Like,
yeah, I mean, we got to move, man. I think, like we were talking about, and my thinking about this is also like, I just don't like seeing people beg to be on different platforms.
Facts.
Do you know what I mean? I don't like seeing that.
Yeah.
You know, as a human being, I don't want to. You don't need to go to another platform and beg and do all this demeaning shit just to be somewhere for 15 minutes. And it's like it just looks like you're forcing it. Yeah. It looks like people don't want you here. Like the whole thing about the DenofTruth is I wanted to make sure that people felt as if, you know, anyone can come on here. It's a community-based thing. Yeah. Let's just, with the information that we have, let's just bring it together, give it to the people, and let the people be inspired. You know, let's just talk about certain things.
Facts.
You know what I mean? I don't want my kids or our kids when they start making music or when they start getting into the entertainment industry, have to be in the same one that we're in right now, where it's not as inclusive or we don't have the amount of voices that we need in certain positions. You know, so that was my whole thing. Like we ain't got to wait. Not all the time, you know what I'm saying? Not all the time we gotta beg out and reach out to certain things, you know?
Create our own.
You gotta create our own. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like how, you know, people say like Spotify, that started from someone. Apple Music, you know what I mean? It started from someone having an idea and then it grew.
Exactly.
But you gotta start your own.
Yeah.
But man, when can people expect the album, man?
The album?
Yeah, when can people expect the album?
Honestly, like, I couldn't tell you, man. I could not tell you, mate. But like, I've been on a wave with music this year. Yeah. Like, I don't know, I've made so much music and like, it's good music. Like right now, the music I'm sitting on is gonna change my life forever. Yeah. I know that for a fact. And like, I've got so much of it that it's not like I'm gonna be, I need to make an album and like cut down 100 songs to like 20 songs and chuck away the 80. It's like, no, these like literally almost like, let's say I do have 100 songs. I have 100 unreleased songs, yeah? And in my heart, I know that like 70 of these songs are next level. So for me and what I want to do now is literally just drop mixtape after mixtape after mixtape and just like flood it. Like I've been told so many times that, you need to drop and then disappear and then, give these gaps and be mysterious and this and that. It's like, no.
Play some game. Like, some game with the people and shit.
It's like, what am I playing? Like,
who you playing with?
Yeah,
like, what
who am I playing with? Like, I just need to be my most authentic self and just release like great music. And that's what I plan to do. Yeah.
Man, but for people who already know, man, where can they find you, man? Social media, like, where can they get you?
Yeah, just like Blessed Tunes. Like if you just at Blessed Tunes on anything, Instagram, Blessed Tunes. Twitter, Blessed Tunes. YouTube, Blessed Tunes.
Yeah. All right, man. Look, I appreciate your time, man. I swear we could go on for like 3 hours talking about this shit, man.
For real.
But look, man, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate the art. I appreciate what you've been doing and what you have done. And yeah, thanks, bro. I appreciate it.
Thank you as well. I appreciate you.
Easy.